I'm Cynthia James, and this network is about changing lives one woman at a time. I get the extraordinary honor of introducing you to women that are extraordinary and inspiring to my heart and soul. I believe that this is a time of women emerging. And so what is happening is that we are watching women change this planet one woman at a time, change communities, change families, change relationships, change governments. And so what I'm excited is that I get to be in a world where women have said yes to their power. So I'm going to introduce you to my guest today. I smile whenever I think about her. Her name is Melanie Gorman, and she's the Senior VP of Your Tango Experts. She's also a business coach in charge of their popular training program, ACE Weekly Business Coaching. And this weekly event is the core of their experts program. It's where they teach, inspire, and encourage their community to really reach for the stars with their business. You know, I have been one of those people, and I have been one of the people she's coached, and I'm a true testimonial. She has a master's in counseling psychology, and she's worked for several years as a relationship counselor and coach. Also worked with Dr. John Gray, author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, from 2001 to 2009. And this is what she says: the insight gained from working with the godfather of self-help was immeasurable. Welcome, Melanie.
Oh, Cynthia, I just can't believe we're doing this. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Well, me too. And I want to start with, you know, a little bit of your history, because a lot of women think that women get to these amazing positions and it's kind of magical and mystical, you know, like where did they don't even think they came from some other place. They just dropped in. So, you know, tell us a little bit about your history.
Well, that's such a great question. People don't ask that question enough, I don't think. So, I'm from DC. I'm from the DC area. So I grew up 15 minutes from where I live now, which is funny to me. Um, as a kid, I was curious and precocious, and I don't know, like I loved writing. I always had a sense that I was going to be a writer, and I went to school and decided, oh no, I'm going to be a therapist, um, and I went to grad school, and I moved all the way across the country. I lived in Oregon, and I had such a great time. And it wasn't long after graduate school that I started thinking that I was a 24-year-old master's level person, and I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I had the book smarts, but I don't know that I could actually do anything. And I got a job teaching, because, most master's level 24-year-olds can't afford their, food. So I had a second job working for a dating service, teaching people how to date. So yeah, it was called Relationships Northwest, and it was just hilarious looking back on it. But the guy who owned the organization wanted to teach people a better way to date, and so he partnered up with John Gray, and they asked me to go get trained, and I did all this training, and voila, I was teaching dating to singles that were being paid for matchmaking, and I thought, this is hilarious. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm single. I'm a mess, but this is fun, right? And I learned a long time ago that you have to have fun at your work, or it's just not worth it. So had a great time, and the dating service closed, and John called me and said, "You've taught more people to date than anybody in our entire organization. You should come work for me." And that was it. Like, I just took the opportunity when it showed up. So I worked for John for I don't know, 8-9 years, and then I came to Your Tango, and I've been here ever since. And I've been through all kinds of crazy stuff. I have 2 amazing children who are the light of my life, and I'm married to my high school sweetheart, which is a crazy story. I don't know if I've ever even told you this. Yeah, my high school boyfriend's my husband, and I just adore him, and he's lovely and a pain in the butt, and like every good marriage. So it was all these steps along the way. Nothing was ever like clear. It was just a matter of like taking the next opportunity and saying yes. you know, so that's how I got here.
Well, I love that. And I guess, ladies, what I want you to hear from this is that she didn't have some blueprint. She didn't have some game plan. She was just following the next step, and fun was a part of it. And because she was open and willing to have that fun and to be of service, the universe kept showing up, kept supporting you. And that's exciting to me. So, okay, so tell our audience, what is your tango?
Oh, so your Tango. Oh, I love your Tango. Your Tango is like a women's magazine online, right? So the story of your Tango is that it was a print magazine in the early 2000s, and then it converted to a digital publication in 2008. And you can find it online at yourtango.com. And it is a website that's filled with articles and videos that are intended to help people uplift their life. So some of it's like, funny things or horoscopes or things that are easier to kind of bite into. Some stuff's really heavy and, dealing with trauma, dealing with, what's gone on in the social world in the last year. So in the 2020 pandemic, one of the big things that came out on Your Tango was a brand new column on social justice. Like we've really been focusing on how do we help recognize when women and people are uplifting each other in their communities and what can be done to shine a light on things that are still in need of some care and change and all that good stuff that's coming and right there in front of us. So we have lots and lots and lots of articles, and there's a segment of it that is Your Tango Experts, and that's what I do. So they call me the expert on the experts, right? So I get to know lots of people who are in their professional life, they're healers or they're therapists or coaches. And they come to us because they think, I want to communicate my message through writing, but maybe they don't know how, or they're a little, they're not sure how to do it. Our whole program is designed around teaching people how to write. So we have feedback we give folks when they publish articles. And, the idea is I have believed from the beginning that the most established, important people to be talking about issues are the ones on the front lines. So the nurse that's in the ICU writing articles, like that's our dream kind of thing. So we've been publishing content for a long time, and it's an amazing look at how people try to approach the big issues of the world, but also recognize that sometimes it's a lot, it's pretty heavy, and maybe today you just want to get your horoscope and you want to feel a little bit better and get an affirmation for the moment. So it's a little bit of both.
Well, I love that. And I love that it's an online magazine about dating because, you know, um, we're living in a very interesting world in this moment, and people are perplexed about this whole dating thing. I mean, what's real, what's not real? How do I know I can trust? How do I open my heart? How do I do all of that? And so a lot of women that I coach right this moment are single, and they've been in pandemic.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, how do you date when you're locked down in your house, and so I know this is kind of a big question, but it's like, what are you telling women about finding how to date,
Mm-hmm.
love themselves, and date in a time that's unprecedented?
I mean, and it's such a big word, unprecedented, and it's just right. It's the right word. I think what we're getting at is that life doesn't stop just because we have new rules, right? And we have new ways of approaching intimacy and connection. So it's a really beautiful time to think about things like boundaries and safety and what matters to you, your values, right? These are all things that for a lot of us, when I look back on my torrid 20s, like I really wish somebody had said, think before you act, right? So I think that the golden opportunity of the pandemic for single women is to really get their ducks in a row and to think about what matters to them and where their values and boundaries and the things that are their non-negotiables versus, I think this is something that I can't tolerate, but maybe it would be okay. And once those things are in place, then they got to look at the fear, right? And for a lot of our readers, the fear is, I'm never going to find love. I'm always going to be alone. I'm doomed. The universe is out to get me kind of stuff. And That's not true. That's not true at all, right? So you have to look at the fear to be able to be the best version of yourself. So there's that too. And then I think for a lot of people it's just taking that big step, right? Getting yourself on a dating site, getting yourself out there, trying some of these, Zoom kind of things where you can actually be in front of other people that are looking for intimacy and connection, and then you apply everything you learned. You apply your boundaries. Do you meet with or without a mask? Do you meet, what's your values tell you? So it really is a practice of showing up on the planet the way you believe you are on the inside. So dating is just an amazing thing right now. There's lots of people finding their soulmates right now.
Right.
It's just incredible.
Well, I love what you're saying. It's really getting clear within yourself, what you value and how you want to operate, and then see if that there's a match there.
Yeah.
And and can people be authentic, caring, respectful as you do this journey together. I mean, I I'm grateful that I don't have to be dating right now, because I think I would wait for, the universe to show up at my door with a note and say, here's your person, because I don't know. But I am watching people find love, and I'm watching people connect, from online dating to matchmakers to all kinds of things, to find their partner. So you found your partner in high school,
I did. I sure
and
did.
what happened between high school, Oregon, John Gray? How'd you get back to him?
Oh, this is a great story. So we dated in high school, and like every good high school relationship, we broke up when I went to college. He moved to. My husband played semi-professional hockey up in Canada, so he was this like athletic dude that was going to go to Canada, and I was crushed. I was so crushed. And I went to University of Maryland for college, and I went there, and we stayed in touch, and I met somebody else, and he met somebody else, and we sort of just went our separate ways. We stayed friends. So 9/11 happened, and he called me. And we had stayed in touch over the years, but he called the day after and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was in Oregon, and he was in Maryland. And I remember thinking, there's something special about the person that calls you the day after the world came to a close, right? Right? That really matters. So we just started chit chatting on the phone, and I somehow I had to come home for Thanksgiving. I hadn't been home for Thanksgiving in 8 years, and I was like, I think I want to go home for Thanksgiving. So I came home, and I saw him, and that was lovely. And then I came home for Christmas, and then I said, forget it. This is stupid. This is a long distance relationship. Like, I'm 28 years old or whatever I was. Like, this is not good. And if you want to be with me, you come to me next. And he said, oh, I don't know about that. And he called me New Year's Eve, and he said, I bought a plane ticket. Can I come on Valentine's Day? And I was like, yes. So that was it. I was totally smitten. And so he came to Oregon for Valentine's Day in 2002. And then we made the decision that I would move back here. And it's been the best choice. Just the best
Wow.
choice. Yeah. So
I love that. That's like stuff movies are made of.
it's an interesting little. I don't tell it very often because it's like he's the guy that walked around in his sweatpants during the pandemic, and I'm like I gotta remember that you were the guy that called. So he's a sweet fella. He's a really sweet guy.
That's
So
awesome.
mhm.
Well, before I ask you my last question, I want to know how people find you, and especially if they're a coach, if there's someone who's on the front lines, wants to be out in the world, how do they find you to see if they're a fit for your tango?
So easiest thing is email. You can email me, and it's Melanie, Melanie at yourtango.com. Or we have a second website called Your Tango Experts, and it's all business stuff. And you can go there and hit the contact button and send me an email, and I'll get back to you. So we're always looking for professionals that want to write. And whether you have no idea how to write, you need a writing course, or you want to get your skills polished, like we love articles, and we're always looking for new and fresh stuff. And we'll even give you topics if that helps. So we'd love to have you.
Beautiful. Okay, here's my last question. What is the one thing you want women to know about awakening?
I knew you were going to ask a good question. Um, don't wait. Don't wait for some lightning bolt to show up. Awakening happens the second you choose to wake up. So take the opportunities that show up for you because that's how life works. God doesn't wait for, a telegram to show up on your doorstep or a match.com guy to be right there. God's going to send you all kinds of stuff along the way. So don't wait. Do it now. That's what I would say.
Awesome. Did you hear it, lady? Write it down, ladies. Don't wait. Now is the time. Melanie, thank you so much for being here. I am so honored to walk this path with you and to have you in my life.
Oh, you too, Cynthia. Thank you.
So, ladies, we do this every week. I bring you amazing women. Come back, subscribe. We're on iTunes, iHeart, Spreaker, Spotify, on my website. You can find us in a lot of places, and we love to play with you. I want to remind you that you're amazing. I want to remind you that you're original. I want to remind you that you are an extraordinary being on this planet at this time because you're essential. So, yeah, don't wait. Step forward, bring your light, bring your gifts because the world is waiting for you. I'll see you next time.